Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of On the Mic with Mike. I'm your host, Mike Larkin, and joining me today is adult star OnlyFans model Miss Aurora Skye. Aurora, it's a pleasure and a privilege. How are you?
I'm so happy to be here. Hello, how are you?
I am good. We have been wanting to do this for a while, and no better time than the present. You have been doing your thing on all forms of social media, doing your thing on the Twitter vibe. I've been enjoying your work and seeing what you've been doing, my friend.
Oh, thank you. That means so much to me.
You're very welcome. You're very blunt. You're very open. You're very honest on social media with everything that is going on. So I just wanted to touch base with you here because, first and foremost, folks, if you've not checked out Aurora's content, she does her thing on OnlyFans as well as the adult side of things. So, first question to start us off: how did you get involved in the world of adult industry here? We're talking about OnlyFans model. What kind of gravitated it towards you? Because you've been putting out some hell of a content here.
Thank you. So I started in the industry back in February or March of 2020. So as soon as COVID first happened, I was living at home with my family at the time and everything. And I had a friend that I went to high school with, and she told me about her starting sex work, and I didn't really know too much about it. And then we're hanging out one day, and she was like showing me her page and like showing me the ways of it. And I was like, okay, like this is kind of sick. I kind of love that. And so I asked like for a little bit, like for some tips on like how to get started and everything. And she kind of showed me the basis. And it's kind of crazy because my aesthetic is completely different now from when I first started, like way different. I was kind of like a basic like Barbie girl, but now I'm like the alternative girl. So it's like crazy how that changed. But yeah, no, she gave me some tips and then I kind of just like made my way up from there. So
I like that mentality. You start like the Barbie chick, but then you're the alternative chick. It kind of reminds me of, for the wrestling fans that listen to my show, it's like when Paige, when she first started with the WWE, she was the anti-diva. You didn't have the blonde Barbie type diva, but I'm the anti-diva, very more goth style phase, like you with your goth
right.
as well. See, I like that. And here's what I like about that too. And I think a lot of people can portray this. We're so designed to a certain look and a certain package. Mind you, it's a great looking package, but we all want a variety in everything that we do. We want something different. So, and there's something that attracts us about the goth lifestyle, the black fingernails, the overall, the angst, what have you, with music in general. There's something about that lifestyle that's just very appealing and people gravitate
Right.
towards.
Oh, absolutely. No, I completely agree because it's like, yeah, Barbie is pretty and it's fun, but it's usually just like one basic look, it's just like repetitive. It's like the pretty blonde hair, it's the pretty brown hair, like, the Barbie body, the Barbie outfits. But with goth, there's like so many different tiers and so many different takes on it. You can like, like me, I like to be like a goth Barbie. So I'm taking like the Barbie aesthetic, but making it goth and putting my own spin on it. And there's so many different tiers like of it, which I think makes it so dope.
Oh, agreed. And I think you rock that style and it's your style and it fits you and just your overall being. And I look at it from a stance too as well, how I always classified myself. So, folks, when I was in school, the way I would look at it is like, I don't care what set you're in or what crew it is, the jocks, what have you. The goth scene, I will say this, it was always supposed to be like the outcast. You know what I'm saying? The overall type of
Yeah.
that people think. And it's very interesting just because it's like, first and foremost, some of those outcasts have gone on to do a lot of great things in bands and movies or what have you. That goth style phase, it's not just an overall clique and crew, it's a lifestyle, but also at the same time, there's something appealing about the outerwear, if you will, the piercings, the clothes, what have you. There's something that's very transcending about that whole entire thing, which we've seen in many different facets of life.
Absolutely. No, I was the same exact way in high school. Like, I really didn't care about like the cliques. There was always like the stereotypes of the jocks, the cheerleaders, the nerds, the blah, 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 the washouts, whatever. But I never pertained to any clique. I hung out with every single person from every clique. Like, I was just the person that was friends with everybody. Like, I didn't give a shit about who you were, where you came from. Like, if you were cool and I vibe with you, why not be friends? I don't care if you're like wearing name brand stuff. I don't care about your popularity. Like, who gives a shit about any of that?
Right, and that's how you have to look at it. And I think the best way to describe that, folks, and we'll talk about this here because Miss Aurora Skye, you have my same personality here. It's the get along gang, folks. It's you get along with everybody. It's known as the get along gang, and it's
Yep.
very apropos because it's like, first and foremost, with today's society, the stigma. Who gives a shit? And I think in today's society as well, we've kind of leaned more towards the equality thing. We're getting more into it. It's always been there, but being nice to see at the forefront, like you have to have that overall mindset. And I think a lot of people in today's day and age, especially in the year 2023, god dang man, we need more open-mindedness. We need more equality. We need everybody to just see everybody for who they are, and boom, here it is. You know what I'm saying?
True that. I completely agree. Yeah.
And that's the thing too, I gotta say, because you talk about 2020, you're starting in the game here, and like you talk about COVID time here, it's hard for everybody because everybody's going through it. Unfortunately, some will have family members pass away, everybody gets the sickness. But god dang man, for where we are from 2020 to 2023, I think that also helped the vibes of just being creative through everything that we were going through. We couldn't go anywhere. And for you, it's really blossomed to where you are now. So in a way, it's kind of been like a very much a positive, positively proactive vibe on the OnlyFans side of things for a lot of women like yourself to get into sex working, adult content, cam modeling, what have you. It's become a gateway for a lot of talent such as yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely. And like it's just crazy to think that it was 3 years ago. Like I cannot believe I'm still like shook by that. Me and my best friend were actually just talking about that the other day, that it was like 3 years ago. It's like, wow, that really flew by. That's insane.
Oh, agreed. And I look at it from a stance too as well, like from the adult side of things. Like I remember as a kid, and we'll take it back to the early 2000s here. Everybody was all about the doggone sites from Naughty America, which still exists today, one of the longest running sites. And you get to see like a little smidge, if you will, an appetizer. Then you have to subscribe to the site or pay an existential amount just to get the overall free trial. Now we're in the days of streaming when there's X hamsters and the porn videos, the X videos, what have you. It's so much easier from the technological standpoint to just see doggone full porn length videos, and it's just great to see how the evolution of the adult entertainment industry has really come into the forefront.
Absolutely. A lot of people say like it's getting repetitive and everything, but I see new stuff all the time. Like I see constantly like new stuff because like yeah, some things get repetitive and everybody does the same thing at least at one point, but there's so many ideas like that you can continuously like come up with and so much new content to produce. And yeah, maybe my stuff gets a little bit repetitive, but I want to switch up my style a little bit and move into some new stuff. So
I mean, you have to. And I mean, from looking at your stuff, I mean, whether it just be just the overall, the one-on-one or whatever play it may be, I think there's so many different categories that really define the adult entertainment industry. Some people like a little BDSM, a little dominatrix style. Some people like to be submissive, what have you. There's always something for everybody. And I think the overall preferences and really get to see what people are into, really tap into their minds. I think it's wonderful for everybody to really start exploring and really just opening their horizons from that part, what they want in their adult content, but also really plays into and placates to the sexual preferences, the sexual styles in the bedroom. It's really a mixed bag and it's quite cool.
oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, like, as becoming like, an entertainer in the industry and everything, I didn't realize like how much it was gonna like change me like that because like it's broadened my horizon so much and like there's kinks I would have never expected that I would have had now. There's opportunities I've gotten to take that I didn't think I was ever gonna have. Like I even discovered my sexuality. I mean, going into sex work, I was a heterosexual trans woman. Like I had never ever thought about being with anybody that wasn't a cisgendered male. And now I'm pansexual and I want to fuck everybody. So it's just crazy how stuff like that changes.
Well, first and foremost, first of all, love the style. And I got to say this, I've interviewed a lot of talents in the adult entertainment industry. And I got to say, one of the top grossing categories in adult entertainment, and I got to give you and a lot of the ladies a shout out here, the trans talents, everything and just in general, because y'all put in that work in front of the camera and behind the camera, because there's a lot of work that goes into the scenes and the content creation. But the trans talents in the trans category are one of the top ones, and you are in one of those categories, my friend. So I'm great to see you doing your thing.
Thank you. It's like good and bad. Obviously, there's a lot of fetishization in the wrong way, and there's a lot of backlash as being a trans person in the industry. But I am very grateful sometimes that trans is such a big fetish because it's like really out there, and I can put up with it because I can actually handle it mentally. But you know, represents like I'm happy and glad to represent the trans community and especially like the goth community because that's not something you see, I guess, too often. There's a lot of like goth trans women that are out there because a lot of us will get denied studio work and stuff for having tattoos and piercings or anything that's alternative because they don't like that. So I'm here to represent and I'm here to change it and I'm happy about it.
That's like the music scene as well. When you're acting, it's like it was always, I'm going to say, the poo poo effect, if you will. They always look down upon, like, the tats and everything that goes against the grain, so to speak, high off the chain. It's one of those things, too, as well as, I mean, it's edgy, but also at the same time, it sets you apart from the rest. And I've always said this, the body is the temple. I myself have two tattoos, one dedicated to my grandfather, and I have a cross that's really dedicated to just my love and my faith. But also, if you have something on your body that really cements who you are as a being and that you hold close to your heart, body's the temple, man. Paint that canvas.
For sure, absolutely. No, like I mean, like tattoos are that's like the beauty of tattoos, though. It's like you can do them for something super meaningful and like near and true to you, or you can do something that's like fun and just pertains to your aesthetic. Like literally, yeah, you can use your body as like a canvas and paint it however you want, and it's like so fucking sick. And it's like crazy that you know in acting, like in movies or in the industry or anything, tattoos and piercings and self-expression like that can deny you work. And it's like you're so like, why are you so pressed about something so silly?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, you look at it from the corporate side of things, it's like when you work in a tattoo shop, I always remember this because this is MTV True Life back in the day, and it was called I Hate My Tattoos. As we all know, True Life covered everything during the MTV days of the reality show era. God dang,
Yeah.
they would showcase this dude, right? He worked a nice job. He had a nice office job. He made some good money, but also on the side, the dude worked as a tattoo artist. And now, when you're in a tattoo shop, you're constantly around the needles. You're tattooing yourself. You're tattooing the clients. The dude had a tattoo on the neck thing, and that would retain from him to getting a job. But I'm like, God dang it, man! If the dude's good at something, no matter what it is, it should not matter what the heck is on his neck. You know what I'm saying? Let the man
Yeah.
work. Let him do his job.
Yep. If life were that way, it would make things so much easier because everybody's getting denied shit just because of self-expression or their sexuality or their gender identity or the color of their skin or a tattoo, something so silly. And they could be the best person at it in the world, but no, you want to deny them that opportunity just because you don't like something of their physical characteristics. Like, that's like, what the hell?
Well, yeah, and like we were talking about, it doesn't matter the gender, and I mean, I look at it from the stance too as well. I mean, seeing it from the wrestling side of things, on the pro side of things for professional wrestling, if you're a trans talent or whatever, it's like some people are just what have you. We could talk about it in football. You could talk about when Jason Collins came out in basketball that he was openly gay. It's very interesting because you think we come a long way from the ignorance and the overall stereotypes and just the overall judgment, if you will. I mean, some of it is, this too shall pass, but god dang, man, there's still some of it out there. And I think a lot of it needs to be on the forefront and just really get on out of here. But I got to
Yeah.
say, from what the trans community is doing and just everybody in general, I got to say the hard work pays off for everybody that does whatever endeavor that they want in life. So, and it definitely shows with you, Miss XBiz trans social media star over here. Congrats.
Thank you. Um, that was a huge accomplishment for me because I had gone into that like I always self-doubt. I hate it, but it's something we do as humans. But I had gone into it and I was like, you know what? I'm just honored to be here. I'm a nominee. Like, I was grateful for it and everything. But of course, if you're nominated for something, who doesn't want to win? But I was just going into it and like self-doubting. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm probably not going to win. Like, I was being nominated against like huge names of people that I've looked up into in the industry for a while, like Daisy Taylor and Aubrey Kate. Like, they're huge people and they're like such big role models to me. And I was nominated against them. And then they called out my name. And like, I could not begin to tell you and describe the feeling that I felt whenever I heard my name be called out. Like, I had gotten drunk beforehand though because I was scared about losing and everything, and like I didn't know how I was going to react to it because it was my first nomination. And then I ended up winning, and then I walked onto the stage and there's some bright ass lights in my face, and there's like what, 1,000, 2,000 people in the audience.
Mhm.
And I get on stage and like I say that I messed up my speech because like I walked off stage and it was like one of those moments where like you wanted to say something but you never did, and then you realize and you think about what you would have said if you could like take back the moment. It was like one of those type things, but I got my point across, and then I started ugly crying on stage, and then I walked off. So that was fun.
It's the Sally Field, you like me, you really like me type of.
Literally all the valid, like I don't want to like get an award to be validated, but it was very validating in some way. So and it like made me like realize that my work really does pay off.
No, it does. And I think what a lot of people can gravitate towards you, and this is, I could tell just by talking to you here in tonight's forum and just seeing your overall form here. God dang it, man. You got a vibrant personality. You're fun. You're very exuberant. So, I mean, it goes a long way, not just in front of the camera, behind the camera, but you as overall whole. So, again, I think it's rightfully deserved and wellly congratulatory.
Thank you. I'm glad you see that because I feel like a lot of people on my social media platforms don't get to see my sense of humor when I try. I'll just be like stupid. Like, I just have very dumb humor. Like, I'll just like send out a tweet and be like, would you guys still accept me if I was a trans woman? Like, stupid stuff like that. Like, obviously, I'm already a trans person. And like, they'll like comment and be like, no, we love you in all shapes and form. I was like, obviously, I'm a fucking trans woman. Like, what? Like, of course, I'm just trying to be silly. Nobody gets my humor.
It's the dark, it's the dark humor. No, and I love that
Yeah.
because people don't understand the dark humor type of thing. You know what I'm just saying? It's like you just put out like you. I think you just put out like not too long ago, butt fucking or butt sex or whatever. It's just something like that that's just very dark and also represents you as your overall being. It's humorous. A lot of people could say like, hey, just say random stuff, what have you. You know what I'm saying? It builds the
Literally.
conversations, but it's silly and it's the comedy. We all do enjoy the comedy.
For sure. And I want to show more of my personality. I don't want to just be posting butthole dick and boobs all the time. Like, yeah, that's fun and I enjoy that, but I want to be silly and I want people to get to know my personality and I want to put myself out there too. So they don't see me as like some robot. Like I'm actually a human being too.
Right. And I think with anything that you do, and one of the things I'm big much of a conveyor in is life is an art form and we're all applying our crafts. And there was always a big thing with the adult entertainment industry. And we'll talk more about, the adult work as you yourself in it. And we all watch ourselves a good old pornography, if you will. But I got to say this from the adult side of things, what I've always enjoyed, even getting to interview talents like yourself, it's something that very much piques everybody's interest just because, it's adult work, it's everything that goes into it. But goddamn, man, it's always been so fascinating to me that we talk about the evolution of adult entertainment industry. It was something that was frowned upon. It was something that was, dare I say, taboo. But as we get more into the OnlyFans, like we mentioned, the many vids and everything just in general, whether it be sample clips or full on clips, if you will, you see a lot of people just like really diving into these different sites and different streams. And I think it's great just to see everybody in the camaraderie side of things really more opening up and, dare I say, letting their freak flag fly, if you will, and just experiment with a lot of great adult content.
For sure. Absolutely. It's crazy to see how it's changed over time. I mean, like, I've been trying to do my research and, ask around the industry and become more educated with the history because, like, I'm a type of person I like to be educated on things. So I want to understand the history more. But to my understanding of what I've done in my own research and asking around, it's crazy to see how much it has evolved and to see how much more present it is because, like, a lot of people were like, super secretive about it like years and years ago. And now it's like a lot more open. Yes, it's still frowned upon by a lot of people, but just like with a lot of current issues, I feel like we're definitely progressing from it. And I think that's really sick.
Agreed. And I look at it as well. Like you look at how pornography, and I always put it like this when it comes to pornography, adult work, however you want to call it, it's like there's storytelling in it, like you see in movies or anything in general, where there's a plot and then it leads to the sex scene. Some of it's just full on, okay, here we are, have sex, boom. There's something for everybody into it as well. And we've seen in your
Absolutely.
work, and we've seen in your work as well, how you're much, I gotta say, in front of the camera and behind it. I think what I like about your films, for those who've never checked out an Aurora Skye film, you're very much into it. It's very fun. Your exuberance and your personality shines through, and I think that's what makes a great film. And if as long as you're not phoning it in and really just being very laissez-faire about it, as long as you go in full throttle and like yourself, you do in your films and your content, I think that is really what appeals to one's eyes. So again, got to give you credit once more.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And that makes me feel really good because, a lot of people get frustrated and annoyed with me because I don't post all the time. I used to post all the time, but I feel like when I first started and everything, it was like half-assed content. I wouldn't put a lot of time and effort into it. But if it takes me a week to get one good post, I'd much rather do that than post every single day with some shitty ass content where I like, just quickly took it. I like to really put a lot of time and work behind my pictures. I want to make sure I have good lighting, a good outfit on. I want to like have a good background, like, and I want it to match the aesthetic of all the other posts on my page. I love the aesthetically pleasing stuff. Like that's very satisfying to me. And I know a lot of other people respect that as well. So if I'm taking my time with it, it's because I want it to be good.
Right. And I mean, it's not just like, and I'll put this in the most bluntest of terms, it's not like dick shot boom or ass shot boom. It's you have to have, like you mentioned, the right lighting and the overall aesthetic. And I mean, here's the thing too. When you look at an elegant photo, and I'll use this because we talk about tattoos on the God style thing. Like one of my favorite magazines, going to any convenience store, they have Ink magazine up in there. When you see like a pinup girl or just someone who has the overall ink from head to toe, and you see that shot, it's very appealing. It's something that really stands out. Like whatever you're seeing, whether it be a model, plus size model, trans talent, whoever, if you're having the appealing to the eye, look at how Bob Ross, god dang it, when he painted those masterpieces, he started off small, by the end of those 38 minutes, he had a masterpiece. If you could look
Yep.
at how Bob Ross looks at his painting and how you want to portray yourself in a photo, what have you, It's the appealing, it's the eye of the beholder. It's something that really showcases you overall mind, body, and soul. So I appreciate that. Attention to detail, the intricacies, the nuances, and the subtleties is all worth it.
Absolutely. And I want to be unique in my own way. I don't want to look like every other person because, there's a bunch of models in the industry. Like, I don't care if this is shady. This might sound kind of shady, but there's a bunch of other trans models I've seen in the industry, and they all basically kind of like copy off of each other. And they do the same exact poses and they wear the same outfits and they kind of want to be along for the trend. But I want to be Aurora Skye, and I want people like when they hear my name to think of just me, not like other people. Think of my work and the poses I do and what I wear. And I want it to be my own unique take. And I don't really think I've seen anybody else who like does it the way that I do. And that's like very accomplishing to me.
Well, absolutely. And I think, well, I'm going to say this, first of all, not shady at all, because that does happen in any industry. Everybody kind of copies each
Yeah.
other, and there's no originality. And I'll put that in the front. We've all seen it. And I will say this. I mean, when you have a name like Aurora Sky, which again, lovely name, my friend, it has you can do market that many ways. Like look at Sky. Sky's the limit. Touch the sky. You could use a lot of things that go into the name Sky. It's all about how you
Yeah.
market yourself.
Absolutely. Originally I wanted my name to be Aurora Borealis, like the sky, like Borealis, but Borealis instead. But I was like, that's too much of a mouthful. But I mean, that would be kind of fitting because I'm a sex worker and it would be a mouthful. So
See, we talk about humor. That was good. I'm not gonna lie. That was really good. I like that.
I wanted to do it, but it's like, if you have to say it, I feel like you're just like stumbling over your words. You're like Aurora Borealis, like, ugh. But it would have been kind of fun. But I've already branded as Aurora Sky, so we're sticking with that.
Of course, you already got me on that. I'm going to tell you that was sold right there because I get the humor of what you were doing, the Polaris in the sky. We could have a little Haley's Comet reference if you want. We could get all astrological with everybody with the sky. But no, I get it. I like it.
Absolutely.
Now I'm gonna ask you this because let me ask you something here, my goth friend. We got to talk about some goth style here because music wise, I'm
Ooh.
curious here. We got to bring this into the forefront because
Okay, okay.
you've opened up my gothiness, if you will, because I love music. I love everything. Everything's eclectic. It's an art form. So for the music side of things, when I think of goth, I look at like the new metals with the newfound glory and the simple plans and growing up with the Sum 41s and everything that we grew up with. Like I love a lot of that style too. What are some of your favorite music acts in the goth style, my friend?
And the goth style.
Yep, yep, yep.
Okay, so I grew up on some like really basic music. So I mean, I'm still catching up in a sense, but I mean, I dip into the pop punk scene, I guess, the most.
Okay.
Like I still do like punk artists and stuff, but like I get scared to like talk about them sometimes just because like some of them were like super problematic, but they produce some like really fire music. So like, they might be a shitty person and I'm not commending them for that or anything, but like music is music. Like sometimes like I just really enjoy the style of the music. So like, I have listened to Marilyn Manson a lot, even though yeah,
Yeah, I know.
questionable.
I know.
I love Courtney Love and Hole. Hole was probably my favorite. I have like so many fucking t-shirts, everything. Who else do I listen to? I love Falling in Reverse. Falling in Reverse, I grew up on. I was a Nirvana girly as well. Sleeping with Sirens, My Chemical Romance. Uh, I mean, a bunch of the basic ones, yeah. Um, I also do shit, what's it called? I am drawing a blank right now.
Me,
See, I'm the type of person like I just like pull out my music like my music library and I'll just show it to somebody because I'm so bad at names of them.
no, first of all, that is a great list. I think a lot of people who are listening will agree and attest to those lists. I mean, when I first heard My Chemical Romance's Helena, when it was on MTV on friggin' TRL, by God's sake, man, I like that video is very iconic and they're
Oh,
very iconic,
absolutely.
right? Now,
Hmm.
now you talk about punk pop. Like I remember as a kid, like I had a friend in middle school when the Punk Goes Pop was big. And now for those that don't know, Punk Goes Pop was an album where you had like Escape the Fate singing Smooth.
Yep.
You had A Day to Remember singing Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson.
Oh God. What a throwback.
Right? That's what we had, you know what I'm saying? And just he gets the scream of how come I never hear you say I just want to be with you.
I love
Like
it.
exactly, like we grew up on that stuff, and I think what's interesting about that time period as well, like again, like I mentioned, like the basic ones, and I mean, you talk about problematic with like Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson, great artist, grew up with him as well, and I know people say what they will about Marilyn Manson. They also equate it to like when people talk about R. Kelly and Michael Jackson, more R. Kelly nowadays with oh my goodness, with everything that came out with him.
So many jokes about.
I know man made great music, but he's a sicko. Michael
Yep.
Jackson, as people have said what they will about Michael Jackson. I mean, did I think his childhood and based on what happened in his life kind of affected him? Absolutely. But there's no denying that the man made iconic music. We see that in so many styles. I mean, look at Chuck Berry, for God's sake. People talk about Maybelline and Go Johnny Go. This man got arrested back in the 90s for filming people pee in public bathrooms. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
we all have that weirdness about us, you know?
Right. But we like didn't even think about it in that aspect. Like,
True.
we just respected the music for what it was, and we were like more focused on that than anything. And we can't help that they're shitty people. Like, we can still appreciate the music. You know what I mean? Because we're not like looking at them and worshiping them and like supporting them for what they did. We're just enjoying the songs that we heard, and yeah, being supporting of that, I guess.
Well, yeah, I think you have to. And I mean, in today's society where I know cancel culture is a big thing, but it's just like I understand things like people can get offended. We all know what's right for wrong. We're adults, we're human beings. But god dang it, man, sometimes stuff does get taken over the top. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of is an influx of what we see in today's society, you know?
Absolutely. And I mean, like, a lot of people these days, like, I don't like to use this word because, like, I hate it being used against me, but a lot of people are just too sensitive in this, like, generation. And I understand it because, like, you know, uh, this kind of sounds fucked up, but I feel like trauma, in a sense, like, and trauma dumping has just become so normalized. It's kind of made us all a little bit more sensitive, like, in our own personal emotions, and we're all like very open about it, and like people will just say some like really traumatic shit and like try to laugh it off. They'll be like, oh well, I just got raped yesterday, lol, like I'm just gonna joke about it. It's like, how can you like talk about that so openly and freely when it's something like so serious like that? And I feel like it just makes us a little bit more sensitive, in a sense that like yeah, it's just like we're all like a little bit more sensitive, so we can't handle a lot of things anymore like we used to.
And I'm not gonna lie, it's actually interesting you brought that point up because I have seen posts from people that do that, like they'll laugh off a trauma like rape, or oh, this happened, you know what I'm saying? Like it's something that's so traumatic and very like it's people go through, you know what I'm saying? It's something that people have heartache and it's hard to talk about, but they're just like very willy-nilly, so to speak, and they just like laugh it off. And I'm like, you can't really laugh off rape. You know what I'm saying? You can't
Absolutely.
like it's a very interesting time, I will say this, but also at the same time, I think with the way mental health is, I mean, we've all been through it. I know you have, myself included. Mental health is very important. And I think really what goes through mind, body, and soul, if you're not loving what you're doing or whatever you're going through mental health wise, I think communication's key. And I think just, just doing what you do and doing what you love and having that positivity and surrounding yourself with the right people, encouragement, if you will, that really showcases it. And I think mental health is really something that really still needs to be more in the forefront, but also at the same time, it's nice to see some of it getting really much the light that it deserves, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. And I wish people would just accept that mental health, like, you're valid for having, mental health problems. It's nothing to be embarrassed or ashamed of. Like, we all experience it in some way, shape, or form. Like, some people more severe than others, but everybody is valid in having mental health issues. And I wish we could all just like respect each other more for it, instead of like putting other people down, or judging them for it, or judging ourselves even for having it, like, and just use whatever outlet you can, whether that be going to therapy or being put on some type of medication, or having a talk with like one of your close friends that you feel comfortable opening up to about it. Like, it's okay that you have mental health. Just accept it and shoot, like, explore your options and your outlets, whatever you're comfortable with. Like, just accept it. Like, it's okay.
Oh, I was there not too long ago. Like I was very in a very suicidal and death place like about 2 years ago now, and I've since God, give all thanks to God. Excuse me, just like what I've gone through. Same with you. Like we've all been through a lot of stuff, but I've always said to people, it's either my thing was God and talking about it. You know what I'm saying? We all have our ways to do it. Not everything is very therapy. Sometimes where we get to do what we get to do and really showcase why what we want to do to better help ourselves. But as long as you're helping yourselves and not hurting anybody, think that's the main thing. You know what I'm saying? It's better to help than to hurt.
Absolutely.
Ugh. You see, now that's what I'm saying, folks. I think when we get to see some of that stuff shit to the forefront, it really does go a long way. And what does go a long way here, Miss Aurora Skye. Now, not only have we had Miss XBiz social media star over here, but I have been casting my votes. Folks, check her out, the ALT Baby He Alternative Porn. I've been voting. I hope to see you get in there.
Have you? Thank you.
Yes,
I appreciate that.
you're
Um, the voting is open until March 31st at midnight, I think. So, yeah, that's when voting will end. This is for pre-nominations to find out who the actual nominations are. But I just did the pre-noming for the XBiz Awards that I won last year, this upcoming year, or this year currently. The pre-nominations are, they just ended, I think, a week ago. So hopefully I get that too, because I like to travel and do stuff, and going to award ceremonies is so fun. Like, I enjoy myself even if I'm not a nominee. Like, I went to the TAs a week and a half ago and I was nominated, and unfortunately I did lose, but very happy for the person that did win. um but it was like so fun. Like, it's such a good experience being able to go to stuff like that.
I mean, well, that's the thing too. And I think for me, like when I was a kid watching the AVNs being a very high focal point on like HBO and cable television around that time, the Emmys or the Grammys or the Oscars of the adult entertainment industry, it's always so fun from the glitz, the glamour, and the pageantry style things. Like people don't realize like how, because again, the stigma of porn, but it's just like the amount of work that goes into those award shows and how just, everything, it makes you feel special. It's a special night. The overall, how everything is presented, the representation of your presentation, if you will, it's just absolutely wonderful to see and encompass.
Oh, for sure. And you meet some like amazing people there. Like, even some non-industry people will go to events like this just to like network and meet others and everything and present their businesses. And it's crazy the type of connections that you'll meet. Like, you will not expect it at all. Like, at the XBiz Awards last year, I was outside fucking taking shots with Stormy Daniels, and I never expected in my life that I would ever do anything like that. And she's like super cool and super awesome. And we had like great conversations. And yeah, like at the XBiz Awards, and then afterwards, like after the awards, like we partied until like 1 or 2 in the morning because there was like the after party at the event, and we were all drinking and dancing and having a good time. And then at the host hotel, there was like a giant pool. We all went skinny dipping until 6 a.m. and kept drinking. And it's like we're all just hanging out, having a good time. And I wish more people like understood that there was fun behind this, and it's not just sex, 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 nudity, being a whore all the time.
So pretty much what she's saying here, folks, is it's not always about that bow chicka wow wow. It's actually about having it's actually about having some fun. And first and foremost, drinking and skinny dipping till 6 o'clock in the morning. I like your style. No, there's nothing like a good skinny dip, right?
Absolutely. And that's the funny thing, is that was my first time really skinny dipping too. Like, I guess like maybe once or twice in the past, like I've been like with a friend, but we never gone like skinny dipping at night or anything. But we went like skinny dipping, skinny dipping. There was like 50 to 70 of us like butt ass naked swimming around in a pool. So
Hey, I live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'm gonna say here, folks, in the South here, skinny dipping is a big it's a big thing. There's been a lot of people who've gotten arrested for public nudity, skinny dipping in public. There was actually one that was actually quite funny not too long ago. So in Myrtle Beach, for those who are new to the area or who may be a tourist of it, there is a big ass Ferris wheel called the Skye Wheel, Miss Aurora Skye, the Skye Wheel, big ass Ferris wheel, right? People got
okay.
arrested. They were having sex on the Skye Wheel, man. Like I said,
Oh,
it's
shut up.
it's how it is. Yes, having sex.
Okay, but that's kind of iconic though.
It is like I ain't even mad at it. You know what I'm saying? Like I
That's some shit I would do. If I were to get arrested for something, I would want it to be something like that. That's fun.
right, like having sex on the Ferris wheel. Sometimes you just gotta let it loose, right?
Right. Literally let loose.
Literally.
That's
And I mean, here's the thing about it too. People say what they will about that, but there's nothing like overindulgence of PDA, if you will. But this is PDA to the extreme of public displays of affection.
for sure.
Absolutely. But no, I think that's wonderful. And I think just the overall freeness and the liberation of what we get to see in the adult entertainment industry. And I'm going to say for you as well, man, not only do you have that look about you, but we got to talk about this cosplay life, if you will. I've seen you dressed a little with the Raven, like you posted up on your social media. You got the Shigo vibes, like it's Kim Possible up in here. The cosplay and stuff, you wear it well, you do it justice.
Thank you. Most of the cosplays, I shouldn't even say most, all of the cosplays I have done have been for work. So they're a lot more provocative and they're not as detailed, but I would like to get more into cosplay because I think it's really cool. Because I've done about 10 to 12 people, I think now. I've done, oh goodness, I've done Princess Peach, I've done Bowsette, I've done Shigo, I've done Velma, I've done Harley Quinn. I've done Raven, I've done Starfire, I've done Shigo, I've done Misty. I've done a lot of people, but like they've been like pretty simple and stuff. And yeah, like, I pull it off. I'll toot my own horn, toot toot. I do pull it off and I get the work done, but I would like to get a little bit more detailed with them. I think the next one actually coming up soon for anybody who's interested, I'm going to be doing Poison from Street Fighter. If anybody is familiar with her, which is like she's like really sexy. She has like a white tank top and she kind of has like a um uh I don't even know how to describe it. You know, like those like cop hats that are like kind of like pointed up and they have like the front bill, but they're like a different color. They have like a skull on them and it's purple. That's like the hat she kind of has, and she has like some like pink anime type hair and these like booty jean shorts. That's gonna be really sexy. So I look forward to that too.
I like your style. You see, that's great characters, and a lot of people don't even realize, like, and I know what you're talking about here because the image is pretty much it's like her. She has kind of like the whip. It's like she's gonna whip it, but she's got like the hat and then everything.
Right.
Yes, that's the look that I remember from the game. And I mean, first of all, badass game. Who doesn't love them a little Street Fighter, right? Give me a little
Oh, of
chicken.
course.
Hello, right?
A classic for
My
sure.
goodness, yes, but no, well, that's also the thing too, and a lot of people don't realize. Like we talk about fetishes and preferences, a lot of people like the video game style. Like when Britney Spears came out with the Naughty Schoolgirl Baby One More Time, everybody loved it. But the anime side of things, where it's like, like a Kim Possible Shigo. Kim Possible is an iconic show. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Then you have
Exactly.
right? And then you have someone like a Street Fighter. Like a lot of people don't realize, like the video game, like stuff that people, it's very sexual from the virtual dimension, but you take it into reality. It's really encompassed to bring that fantasy to life.
Oh, for sure. And funny enough, too, actually, this is just like a side note. My text tone is actually the doot 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 from Kim Possible, so that's even funny.
Should I ask you what's the sitch, Wade? I like your style. Very nice. Very nice.
What's the pitch?
What's this sitch?
I always wanted one of those phones. Where can I get one of those?
I would like to know myself. eBay, maybe, sort of. Got it.
Literally, I want a gadget like that. Can I actually like have a phone like that that functions and has a good camera and shit? Because I want the Kim Possible phone because it's iconic.
By the way, somebody brought this up to us, and I mean, I love nostalgia and all that as well, but also I don't like to feel old. Like that show's going to be like this year, it's going to be like 21 years old, which is crazy to think.
I saw that. Literally, I saw a video and somebody posted about it. It came out what, 2000, 2001? And I was like, did it really come out that long ago?
Yeah, I was in like fourth or fifth. No, I was in like, yeah, for like fourth grade, fourth or fifth grade, 2001, 2002. Yeah, which is crazy to think.
That's insane. But like it's crazy because like a bunch of shows like that came out at that time. Because wasn't SpongeBob like the same time too?
SpongeBob was like 99.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was like shortly before. I didn't know if it was Y2K or 99.
But
Um,
cool. Like it's iconic stuff that we all still talk about, and it's awesome.
literally, I quote SpongeBob jokes every single day of my life. Like that's like such a giant part of my humor. And rip to SpongeBob now because if anybody watches the new episodes, I don't support you and fuck you because it's awful, it's terrible, and it's just like they're trying to put a sexuality on SpongeBob. They're trying to make him out to be like some gay icon. It's like literally he's a sponge, okay? It's fucking SpongeBob. Why are you worried about his sexuality when he's literally just stupid and has a good time and is enjoying himself? Like, what the hell?
All right, I'm going to say this right now. Thank you. Thank you. Just
They're trying to make everything out to be like a queer icon. They have to have that in some way. Like they're trying too hard to like include themselves because it's like modern and it's quote unquote trendy to be a part of the LGBTQ plus community now. So like now they have to have a character and dive their hands in to seem more accepting or some weird shit. I don't know. I don't get it. Not everything has to be gay. I feel like a lot of people think that to have a TV show or anything to be accepting, they have to have like a trans or gay icon on there. And it's like, no, you're just being cringy. If there's naturally somebody who's like that on the show and it makes sense with the story, have it be that way, but don't force it because it's uncomfortable for us, like queer people who are just trying to enjoy the show, and then we see stuff like that, and it completely turns us off, and we want to stay away from stuff like that.
I think there was a controversy with the Chucky series that was on USA, which for those who haven't
Oh my
checked it out,
god.
I know you know where I'm going with this. Yeah.
As I'm literally wearing a hoodie right now that has Jennifer Tilly holding Chucky.
You know what? First of all, love Chucky. Classic series, classic
Me
movie.
too.
Yes,
Favorite of all time. Yep.
absolutely. I am right there with you, Miss Aurora Skye. But I will say this: a lot of people also got to it because I think isn't the main character gay or something like that, and there was like this whole tether about it, and I'm like, whatever. Like, why are we focusing about this? Just watch fucking Chucky. It's a great
Okay.
series. Good.
Yeah, yeah. So the TV show is actually really good. I think the take that they took on it is like really cool. And then them actually bringing Jennifer Tilly back and the actual voice of Chucky and all the original characters. I think that's so cool that they actually got everybody to come back for it. But excuse me. Oh, that burp hurt. Oof, heartburn. Love that. Um no, it was like really cool in the TV show and everything. But then Chucky had so have you watched the Chucky movies?
I have, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you know how in the actual movies they had Glenn slash Glenda and like the earlier movies, and it was like Tiffany wanted it to be like the child to be Glenda, and then Chucky wanted to be Glenn because they didn't have genitalia, so they were and then it's like, and then like when Glenda was a girl, that's when she got like her killer instincts and she was evil, but when Glenn was a boy, he was all like soft and everything. Basically how they did it on the TV show is they made two separate people. It was the same actor but it was they played two separate roles. Like they came to life out of the Glenn slash Glenda doll, and they played Glenn slash Glenda as two humans, just like, but they were non-binary. And then Chucky at one point was like, you think I'm homophobic? Well, I have two non-binary kids or something like that. And it was like, come on now, like that just seems so forced.
Yeah, that's what I saw too as well. Watching the series and everything. Like, first of all, the Glenn and Glenda thing. Like, here's what I like about it. Like, I was a fan of the Child's Play series. Then we got the Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky. I just like Seed of Chucky because we got Method Man and Red Man up in there. More particularly Red Man with Jennifer Tilly. But it's crazy, like to think, like just to see just how those movies progressed. And I'm gonna say this right now: Jennifer Tilly is still fine as wine. She looks
Oh my
amazing.
God. I'm so obsessed with her. I have the biggest crush on her. Like, I would do anything for that woman.
Right.
Jennifer Kelly, if you're listening, hit me up, please, because I'm in love with you. Thank you.
One of my favorite movies she was in was A Liar Liar with Jim Carrey. Like she was great. Just like
I
the
forgot she was in that. Oh my God.
yep, she was that stuck up bitch that wanted like custody of the kids, but she played it so well.
It's so crazy the range of stuff that she's done and her iconic voice. I love her voice. She has a voice that's just so unique. Like, it's just the Jennifers, I guess, because Jennifer Tilly, and then you have Jennifer Coolidge, who has one of the most iconic voices of all time as well. The Jennifers out here in the world are doing the damn thing.
Right? Oh my God. And I think one of the most underrated ones with Jennifer Coolidge, of course, American Pie. I mean, she was in Click. She was Kate Beckinsale's friend in Click, who was just always so horny, which was just like awesome, just because it was just she played that character so well. Like she just
Right.
had such a range, right? Like she had such a range of characters.
Right. And she did a Cinderella story with
Yep.
Hilary Duff. And she just like was like played that role so well. It was like something she could pertain to. Now she's on the White Lotus TV show. She does it all. She's crazy. I love her.
And now, just going back to the SpongeBob reference here for a second, because I, some of my the first few seasons of SpongeBob, I love. Like, this is what I get for working overtime. You know what I'm saying with the clam?
Literally.
Yeah, like, give me some, give me the squirrel jokes, give me, Mr. Krabs as a robot, give me the whole, you said number 11, the whole curse words thing. Like, for you,
Yep.
some of your favorite SpongeBob episodes.
Um, Definitely I quote it all the time about claustrophobia being that they're afraid of Santa Claus. Love that episode when they get stuck in the wishing well with Squidward.
Yes.
Thought that was hilarious. What are some other iconic ones? Is mayonnaise an instrument? Obviously a classic, hilarious.
Hmm.
I loved every episode with the Flying Dutchman too. I thought those were like super silly, and like when they brought in like Davy Jones' locker and everything, I thought those were so stupid. Um, excuse me. Um, what else was there?
The
Uh,
Krusty Krab pizza is
I
the
was just about to say that the Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza
pizza
for
for
you
you
and
and
me.
me.
How do
Oh,
you? And then he goes, my drink, my diet, Dr. Kelp.
so good.
Oh
It's
my god, I SpongeBob is definitely one of my comfort shows. Love it. But I have to say, probably my favorite of all time, even with the storyline and everything, is probably Gravity Falls. And unfortunately, there's only 2 seasons with 20 episodes, so it's 40 episodes total. But I wish they made more because Gravity Falls was fire.
agreed. And I mean, with the Flying Dutchman one, I always quote when they're like moving the boat, when moving his ship. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Literally.
I,
And then all the old man Jenkins stuff, and then Bubble Bath was like, no pickles. That was funny as fuck too.
and there's my car keys, and there's my ride. Yep, I love it.
Literally. There's one of them going around now, of SpongeBob in boating school, and he was like, "How many did I get?" And then she says like three or something. And then he goes, "Woo!" And he goes, "Out of how many?" And she goes, 300 or something like that. And it's just like funny as fuck.
Hey, at the boating school when he's trying to friggin' write the sentence of what I learned in boating school is, and then it just says the on the paper. He just
Yeah, literally. Oh my God, yes. When he had to write that whole paper and he did that like nice ass font and everything. That's so funny. Do you
Mhm.
remember that one episode where they go into Mr. Krabs's mom's place and they start like pulling the panties out of her panty drawer and everything? Do you remember that one?
Yes, and he's
And
well,
then
yeah,
they got in trouble, so they had to end up painting her house.
yeah. And
You know,
then
they completely took that off all platforms.
really,
They
oh,
deleted that completely because it was like quote unquote panties
oh god. Well, first
and it
of
was
all,
like perverted and stuff.
but that was a fun episode. He's like, "This is like how we like to get crazy," and he's like, "This is my mom's house. What are
And
you
they were all
doing?"
like, yeah, they were like dancing around and everything. It was so silly.
Like, okay, you see that right there is just why we can't have nice things. I'm just gonna put it like that. We can't have nice things. We cannot have nice things, my friend.
Honestly, can we not just like be silly and like joke around and stuff? Because stuff like that is hilarious. That's stuff that gets us by.
Right. And well, that's the thing too. Like with Disney Channel, when they used to have the old Disney Channel original movies and like the Disney's and concerts, like everybody loved that. And then everything just kind of be like, oh, we can't do this or oh, we can't say that. And then just, yeah, like I said, a lot of it has gotten with that with Nickelodeon and Disney nowadays than what it used to be, you know?
Right. And the nostalgia of it all. Like, I remember when like a new Disney movie was about to come out, they used to do the countdowns in the bottom right of the corner. Do you remember those? It had like the Disney symbol and
Mm.
it would like say the countdown when like High School Musical or Camp Rock was going to first air for the first time or something like that. And I miss looking back at shit like that because Disney Channel, like, even like commercial breaks, they would have like the Disney Channel logo and it would give you the lineup for the next hour of like what every 30-minute episode was going to be next. It was like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody or Wizards of Waverly Place or something fun like that.
Yeah, Disney does not do that anymore. It used to be like that back in the day too. Like I mentioned Disney in concerts, like everybody was looking forward to seeing what group was going to perform. And then it'd be like, oh, coming up after that, Smart Guy, or coming after that, Lizzie McGuire or whatever be like it had the great lineup. And then now it just no, it just went to shit.
Right.
Like
Yep.
I tried because I'm a Boy Meets World guy. Like I love Boy Meets
Oh,
World.
me too. I love Boy Meets World.
And then Girl Meets World came out. And I don't know how you felt about it, but I'm just kind of like, meh. You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't really interested in that.
I
I
tried.
like the original. Actually, fuck, what's the from Boy Meets World, the main guy with the brown hair?
Oh, Ben Savage.
Yes, him. He was literally just in Richmond for GalaxyCon. He was literally just right up the street from me, and I didn't even go. I'm so upset that I didn't, because I could have met him.
I think he's running for Congress now, right?
Is he?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
I don't keep up with him like that, but that's awesome. Good for him.
Well, yeah, now because I think it's funny because podcasting, everybody has like podcasts and does shows now. Daniel Fishel, Ryder Strong, and Will Friedle have their own Pod Meets World show, and they're pretty much looking back at all the Boy Meets World episodes. It's actually pretty interesting. They have a lot of the guests on. They had William Daniels, Mr. Feeney on. It's
Okay.
interesting to look at.
Do they um and for Girl Meets World, did they bring back any of the original characters like Topanga and Bannon or anybody or no?
Yes. So the sitcom was it was Corey and Topanga had kids, and then they brought back people like Lee Norris, who was Minkus. They had William Daniels, Mr. Feeney. They brought back Angela for an episode. They brought back Jack Matthew Lawrence for an episode. So they brought out some of the main people back, Mr. Turner, the whole nine there.
Okay. Crazy. Yeah. I didn't really keep up with that. The only like rerun of a show kind of like that was that I watched partly was Fuller House.
I
Um,
yep, I the Netflix series for like the episodes that led up to Stephanie getting married and Stephanie could have kids and DJ getting married. Like there was a lot of plots and twists there that were very interesting. I agree.
yeah, well, fuck this Cameron Bure. I literally met her because she came to my hometown for something we have called the Apple Blossom Festival, which is like this giant festival where people all over Virginia and all the other places come to. It's the only thing my town was known for, basically. She was there, so I got to meet her because I used to ride in the parade every year with my family. And she came and she is like a huge conservative. She's like trying to get like stuff passed about like anti-gay and trans stuff.
Oh yeah, her and her brother Kirk, good old Kirk Cameron, Growing Pains. Yep.
Yeah, I'm like, that's kind of disgusting because I grew up watching you and I thought you were really cool. And I always thought when I met her, she was a bitch. She's like probably the meanest celebrity I've ever met out of all the celebrities I have met.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, well,
She was like so mean. She's like so entitled and like so cunty. I was like, girl, get the fuck out of my face. Don't try me right now because I'm a bitch and I'm a nice person most of the time. But if you want to try it, like we'll throw hands. I got you, girl.
so look out, Candace Cameron Bure and her Oh My Atlanta. Yes. Uh,
Literally, Candace Cameron Bure, if you see this, I'm coming for you. Wait for it. Just
well,
kidding. I'm just kidding. LOL. Gotcha.
mm.
I never said that.
Well, that's the thing too, as well. And I'm going to say this because with everything that's going on now, and I think what's funny about it too is that you bring it out with Full House. I got to mention this because we're talking about adult work here as well here in today's forum. But god dang, man, they actually did a porn parody of Full House called Full Holes. And I will say
No, they
this,
did not.
they did. I swear to God,
Oh my God.
somebody did a porn parody called Full Holes, and I'm like, again, it's kind of like iffy because like, how do you do the Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen characters and like that?
Stop it.
They did.
Oh my
They
God.
they did, and I'm just like, this is kind of awkward and weird. Like, I can't like, I couldn't. You know what I'm saying? It kind of made me feel a little icky. I couldn't do it.
Well, yeah, I was about to say because like everything that went on with like Bob Saget and the twins and everything too. Like
Yeah,
when he was like sexualizing them when they were like literally like what, 4 years old, when they were like super, super young and everything,
yeah,
four to
they
six
were.
years old. Like,
Yeah,
ew. Didn't oh yeah, and then he died. Didn't he die last year?
yes, he did. Bob Saget passed away.
Okay, that's right. Um, okay, but in all honesty, was the parody any good? Be honest.
To be completely honest with you, I've seen better.
Okay.
I'll,
Okay.
I'll be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
as a male who enjoys some adult activity, and I mean, like I said, what we're talking about here on today's forum. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I started watching the adult entertainment world and pornography. Like, I knew about it, but like my first ever encounter was a site called girlshuntinggirls.com, which what's the premise was of the scenes. They were in a van, and then they would pick up a girl on the side, and then it would turn into like a sex scene. So you would have those sites and the Naughty America site. So that's kind of like what I grew up with. Do you remember the first time like scene that you saw as far as porn goes?
You're gonna laugh. Okay, I don't really consider this because it ended up being fake. Was fucking two girls, one cup.
Oh my God. Okay.
That was the first thing I ever fucking saw. Did you know it was fake? They staged the whole entire thing.
I learned about that afterwards. Yes, I did.
I did not know that. And I literally like almost threw up after watching that. But being dumb, what was I, elementary school, a dumb kid. We were just like looking up stupid shit on the internet and everybody was talking about it. So I ended up watching that, unfortunately. But then also too in elementary school, I remember this. I was having a sleepover with two of my other guy friends and we were down in the basement and one of them, the one whose house we were at, uh he pulled up like girls dancing naked on the computer or something, and we thought we were like so edgy and so cool for watching it. And me and him were like hell yeah, like naked girls, woohoo. Nothing's changed. But yeah, we're like hell yeah, naked girls, woohoo. And then the other one friend was like a goody goody two shoes. So he's like, stop, we're like gonna get caught, we're gonna get in trouble, blah blah blah. And then literally as we're like laughing about it, like dancing around and watching it and stuff, literally his mom walks downstairs and catches us during it. So that was like really embarrassing because she made me call my parent and tell them about it. So rip to that.
It's the goody two shoes, man. It's the goody two shoes.
It always is. Like, oh my God, he got me into so much shit. He got me in trouble one night too. Oh my God, I'm so awful. I'm so sorry for saying these stupid stories, but I
Oh,
was
you're fine.
I was, I was having a sleepover at his place one time and I couldn't sleep, but he was like passed the fuck out and he had a hamster that I loved because I never got to have a hamster up until high school, but he had a cute ass hamster. And yes, I say hamster, not hamster because that's ugly. But I went in the middle of the night to the hamster cage and I pulled the hamster out and I was playing with it. And then his parents, I guess, woke up because I was being too loud. And I took the hamster, jumped on the bed with it holding in my arms, and I laid on top of it so his parents didn't catch me. And then as I'm laying there on the bed, the parents were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I couldn't sleep." And then the hamster crawls under me and then crawls out. And then they caught me and I got in so much trouble.
Oh my God. Oh
I
my.
just wanted to pet the hamster. I was an awful kid. I got into so much shit. I got detention in fourth grade.
For what?
There was a kid in my class. So we used to take group bathroom breaks because we would sit at like what tables of five or six because there
Right.
was like individual seat ones. Like, do you remember the desks that like you would like fold up and you could put your stuff in?
Yes.
We had those, but in some of my classes in some of the years at my one elementary school of the five I went to, I went to so many different elementary schools. That was a mess. But this one currently that I'm talking about that I was at, it was just like a giant table. And there was, I think, five or six of us. So we would get called by tables to have bathroom breaks in the middle of class. And as we went to the bathroom, this one girl spit on this one dude's arm and he kept like it was literally just the smallest amount of spit and he got so annoyed by it so he kept pointing at his arm and going ew, 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 and repeating it over and over and over and over again as we were walking the whole entire way to the bathroom. And I got fucking annoyed by it because he wouldn't shut the fuck up, so I literally told him to shut up and he kept doing it. And then I kicked him in the shin as hard as I could and he started bleeding. And then literally the teacher saw, like, another teacher in the hallway saw me do it and made me go to the principal's office and tell them what happened.
Well, I mean, I would be annoyed too. Just sometimes you gotta shin kick a motherfucker, to be completely honest.
Literally, like, shut the fuck up. Nobody wants you, like, nobody needs to hear you do that shit over and over again. Like, you're being annoying.
For a smidge of spit on the arm. Like a smidge of spit on
It
the
was
arm.
literally a smidge of spit, and like, oh my god. Now we're out here. Now we're out here spitting in each other's throats. You know what I mean? Like, damn.
Yes.
You're annoyed about a little bit of spit in your arm. Well, now we're all spitting in each other's throats. So,
Right. Oh.
good to you. Awesome.
Oh, but yeah, no, I've had those moments too. I think the only time in school I've actually been like seriously in trouble, like I got 2 days of detention because I tackled a kid because he was being annoying on the playground. Like we were playing like soccer or something, and then just something happened. I just remember I tackled the fuck out of this kid, and I got 2 days of detention for it, for lunch detention. And then one day I got in sixth grade was ISS because a kid took my book and he was like, you know how they think you're funny because they take your book and they just run around with it like ah ha 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 ha. And
Yeah.
after a while, that shit just gets annoying. So I grabbed him from behind, took him down, and I didn't realize the desk was behind me. So we made like a loud noise. We went into this desk, and I was not trying to do that. So I took him down and went into it and made a loud boom because we knocked into the desk. And I got a day of ISS for that. I had school suspension. So sometimes it
Rip.
happens, folks.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's like completely justified though. Like
Right.
sometimes people just need to experience that and like be put in their place and just be like, hey, you're not going to listen to me if I say anything, so I'm going to put you in your place, understand, and then we'll move past it. I say a couple of times because I have too loud of a mouth. I talk too much. And one time in the middle of class, my senior year actually, I got caught because we were playing do you remember did you ever do Kahoot or do you know what Kahoot is?
Okay. I am unfamiliar with this. Please let me know.
Okay, so basically it was like a thing that we did in class. Like you can do them just in general. Um, but basically the teacher would set up questions on the smart board on the wall. So it would just be like questions and then you would have a certain amount of time to answer or ask a question. And then there was like four, it was like a square, a triangle, a hexagon, and a circle or something that were in the like those were like basically like A, B, C, and D, if you will. And you just chose which one was the answer. Like it would say the answers on the board, not to the question. Like, oh my God, it's so hard to describe. So like it would say like the answers to the question, like say it would be like triangle would be um 4, and then circle would be 3, and which whatever you thought the answer, you would click that shape on your phone. And then at the end of the each round, you would see like what the correct answer was, and at the end, like whoever had the most points by answering the fastest enough and getting the right answers won.
Okay. All right.
It's so hard. It's so hard. I'm such a visual person. I have to show somebody something. I'm so awful at descriptions. I'm sorry.
No,
But
it's
yeah, no, it was like super fun. And one time we were playing Kahoot, and I stood up on my chair and started throwing my ass back. I was like shaking my ass, and my friend was taking a video of me. And my teacher caught me and sent me to the principal's office. I used to do stupid shit like that all the time.
not. It's okay. I didn't shake my ass, but I will tell this story. So when I when I was in elementary.
Lame. You didn't shake ass. I'm not interested. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so when I was, oh my God, when I was a kid in elementary school, this was just, I don't know why, I forgot why, but I just lifted up the desk and went raw. And I remember my teacher being so mad because I just lifted up the desk for some reason. Don't ask me why, but I just, lifted up a desk like really above my head and boom, just like the desk like you have, like the nice little wooden desk. That I distinctly remember. And I also just remember, like, we didn't play Kahoot, but we played like Knockout a couple times. And for those that want to know what Knockout is, we would play it during recess. It's just basketball. You line them up and then you see you can get the other one out. So we would do like shooting hoops and stuff. And twice, every time, like, I don't know, it was both times playing knockout. I broke my finger, the same finger twice. And that's a lot of the injuries that I've sustained from playing basketball. But yeah, two broken fingers, yelling at lifting desks. You know what I'm saying? It happens. Sometimes we do crazy things.
That happens.
It
Yeah, it's part of
happens.
life. It's a learning experience, and it's fun because now we get to tell stories about it now. So
Absolutely. Yes. And I will say this, I think your story and your journey is going to just can keep continuing on. And like we talked about in today's forum with the mental health side of things, do what you do, get yourself some help, make yourself feel better, surround yourself with the right people, encourage and stay positive, and know that you is wonderful. And you, my friend, Mr. Aurora Skye, are wonderful. And I can't wait to see how you continue to grow within the adult entertainment industry.
thank you. I'm trying my best. I've been taking a break for a while and dealing with like my own personal mental health stuff, but I want to slowly creep my way back in and start producing some more content. I mean, I still post here and there, but I definitely want to like switch it up a little bit, start doing something new, do more cosplays, and be more out there.
Well, I think you are getting your name out there. And for those that are in the content creating game, or if you're in podcasting, get your name out there, tell a damn good story, and provide a great platform for the eyes, the ears, and everyone to visualize and take in. We'll go through the whole five senses here. Hell, we'll get the sixth sense in there if you're about that paranormal life. But I digress. And for those that want to check this out, please do give a like, give a share, give a subscribe. And I will say this, Aurora Skye, we're going to definitely do a round two of this because you are an absolute delight. You have such vibrancy, and it's such a blast talking to you.
Thank you. Hell yeah, I'm down for that. We'll do it.
And before we close this out, now you, with the experience that you have coming from 2020 to 2023, what advice do you have for a lot of the talents that want to get into the OnlyFans game, the adult entertainment industry? What's advice that you've learned so far in your 3 years that you would pass along to the newcomers in the game?
Oh, goodness gracious. I'll try to keep this as brief as possible because I could go on and on about this. But one thing I like to tell newcomers, because I do experience like a lot of people sending me requests about like, hey, how I'm newer to the industry, like what tips do you have for me? It's hard to give advice as a trans woman because like every depending on like your aesthetic and gender and everything, it like different it like varies so much. Like it's hard if I was a trans woman to give a cis male advice on like what they should do and how they should market and whatever. Just because like we're two different audiences that we're being sold to. But besides that, just be authentic, be yourself, be natural, don't do anything too forced. Don't take quick snapshots because nobody appreciates those. Put some time behind your work, put some art, have your own flair on it, be unique. You know, definitely do some research because it can't hurt at all. Definitely look into some other creators that you're interested in and see how they run their platform, and don't directly copy from them, but you can draw inspiration from it for sure. Um, do it at your own pace because it can get a little bit too much mentally sometimes. And, you know, if you get into it and it's not for you, then move on to something else. Like it's completely valid if it's not for you. Um, just be authentic, show your personality, have a good time. Um, and do it at your own pace. Just do your thing. You got it. I believe in you.
Beautifully said. And I will say, beautifully and eloquently said, sometimes short, sweet, and to the point. I like that. I think you gave a lot of great, crisp advice for a lot of people to take in. And I will say this as well. One final nostalgia thing I have to bring to your attention because we talked about that goth life and we talked about Kim Possible and SpongeBob. I had to bring this to your attention because my friend Amanda sent this to me like probably last night, right? Because we're both nostalgia freaks, like you and I both are. And so
Uh-huh.
somebody put up a video of songs that turned 23 and 2023. And I'm just like, no, because the songs that were on there were Limp Bizkit Rollin', Britney Spears is Lucky, NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye, Shape of My Heart by the Backstreet Boys, Linkin Park's One Step Closer, and Eminem's The Way I Am. Classic,
Stop it.
right?
23 years. That's so sad.
I know, right? Like the
Oh
debut of
my
Linkin Park.
God.
Like Linkin Park is 23 years old already. God rest his soul, Chester Bennington. But yeah, 23 years of Linkin Park.
That's insane.
Agreed.
Wow, that really just mind fucked me. I cannot believe that. That's crazy.
I mean, it's crazy to think about, but I think just like what we grow up with our childhood, when the next generation gets to see what we have now. And I've always said this. I think with what we have now in today's day and age, not a lot of it sinks in because it's almost kind of like on to the next with how content is. Like something could happen this week, then something else happens the next week. We all really can't like take it in like we used to, you know?
For sure. And I think it's going to be crazy when, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, that stuff is going to be like 50 years old almost. Like, that's insane. And then we can like talk about it and be like, yeah, like we grew up on this shit type deal and everything. And that's going to be the nostalgia for us. And it's going to be new experiences for like the newer generations. And that's just so insane to think about.
Well, yeah, it's going to be like, hey, remember back in our day when we did Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all those sites,
Literally.
right? Oh,
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, even with social media, there'll probably be some new social media platforms and stuff out there too.
and speaking of social medias, Miss Aurora Skye, where can we follow you on all forms of social media? Promote the socials.
Okay, so I usually do Linktree. So Linktree, it'll do like I think it's they spell it really funny. It's like link LINKTR and then .ee or something like
Yes.
that. But I think if you just is that correct?
Yes, you're right.
Okay. So you can do that linktr.com/sparklybrat. But the A in Sparkly is an X actually. So it's SPXRKLYBRAT. And that should bring you to all my social platforms on Twitter, Instagram, OnlyFans, Reddit, Chatterbait, anything you're looking for like that. So
All right, real deal sex appeal. Those will be in the links in the description here. And I don't mean to laugh, but Linktree, yes, that is how they spell it. I don't know why they spell it like that, but
no, like just spell it all as one word and keep it at linktree.com. Maybe like Linktree, like all as one word with no dots was already taken, and maybe that's why they did that. Or they thought they were being like cute and unique or something, but it's stupid because literally just spell it all out as one word and put a .com and call it a day.
absolutely. And I will say this, like I mentioned here, Miss Real Deal Sex Appeal. You guys could check out Aurora Skye on all the forms of social media. Definitely give her a follow because it's a very fun follow, fixed with photos, humor, and just all around badass and good content. And a great name in Sparkly Brat, by the way. I like the user, I like the handle.
Thank you. I wanted it to be more unique because like I could have done Sparkly Brat with an A, but but what fun is that when I can make it more unique and now everybody knows me as Sparkly Brat. So
Right. And
I'm a
the X,
brand girl.
yeah, market it. The X could be for extreme, the X could be for the adult stuff. Yeah, you can market it many different ways.
Absolutely. It can go multiple ways. I didn't even think about it like that.
So, folks, definitely check out Miss Aurora Skye on all forms of social media. Links will be in the description. And Aurora Skye, before we close this out, do you have any final words to the people that have been supporting you since day one and checking out you and only you and all your content?
I want to give a huge thank you to everybody who supports me. Even though I do suck at social media sometimes, and I try my best to answer all you all back and comment back and see your all's content as much as I can in return, I do notice it. So please know that like it does not go unnoticed, and I would not be here without your support. And I appreciate you all so much. I couldn't do this without you. I know that sounds so cliche, but I genuinely actually mean it from the bottom of my heart. Sometimes I actually like see that I have over 300,000 followers on Twitter and it still like doesn't like, I still can't take it in because it's like so overwhelming and so validating and so awesome. And You guys are awesome. If you guys ever need anything, you can always hit me up on any of my social media platforms. Thank you for supporting. I love you guys, and you are wonderful. Mwah.
And this concludes another edition of On the Mic with Mike. And as I always say to end each and every show, beauty, strength, and dominance, the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are. And Aurora, Skye, kiss the sky, touch the sky, sky's the limit. I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I love that.